Now, more twists into the impeachment controversy of Governor Martin Zelechi of Ebon State, as hundreds of protesters today marched on the streets of the capital, Abakaliki, in support of the governor. Women and youths were seen carrying placards with inscriptions like "No shortcut to Government House" and "Impeachment of the governor will not stand." The protesters are said to be from the 13 local government areas of the state. Now, the anti-impeachment protesters converged on the Government House, asking those behind the impeachment process to desist from the action.
Streets of Abakaliki, the capital of Ebon State, on a lockdown. Youths, women from across 13 local government areas, hand in hand, they look resolute. Visibly agitated, they sing and march, and perhaps the inscriptions on the placards they bear above their heads could simply tell what their grievances are. And their destination here, the Ebon Government House. As they arrive, it appears a good time to hear from their leaders what has brought these massive crowds to the streets.
Even the president of this country, Nigeria, is also in sympathy with this unfortunate happening in Ebon State. I declare to you all here that by the grace of the Almighty God of Ebon, that our governor will not be impeached.
The crowd say they don't agree with the impeachment move, and one of Governor Elechi's aides come to the defense of the state governor and how the finances of the state has been managed.
I wish to inform you that by the records of the international auditors, Augusto and Company, that had already been made known to the National Assembly, as a result of which we won an award at the Ministry of Finance on the national level. Ebon State was found worthy of every accountability. There is no record of embezzlement. We were informed the other day, though mischievously and maliciously, that we have international debt recording up to $17 million. I want to ask, where is it? Who keeps the record? I keep the record as your sketcher. Yes, sir. And there is nothing of that nature.
The impeachment move over Mr. Martin Elechi seems not the only reason for their protest.
Ebon State is totally 100% for Goodluck Jonathan. It is not negotiable at all. And we want to let him know that if anybody has told him or is telling him that we're not supporting him, that person is his enemy.
The Ebon House of Assembly is divided on the matter, with some insisting governor must go on the allegations of misappropriation and gross misconduct, while some others don't agree with the move. With these protests, it will be interesting to know just how the twist in the impeachment plan will go. Sheon Kimbaloye for Channels Television News.
A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed the suit filed by Senator Eze challenging the nomination of Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi as the governorship candidate for the People's Democratic Party in Enugu State. Senator Eze had asked the court to hold that a sister court presided over by Justice Adeniyi Ademola endorsed the list used for parallel governorship primaries of the party. But in his ruling, Justice Evo disagreed with the lawmaker, saying Justice Ademola did not make any mandatory order endorsing any list for the primaries. Our correspondent Amaka Okafo reports.
Supporters of the Enugu State governorship candidate Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi jubilating at the news that the court has struck out the suits challenging his candidacy. Their joy is understandable, given that the judgment had been postponed on 4 different occasions. Senator Eze had filed the suit to seek an interpretation of the ruling of Justice Adeniyi Ademola, which he says endorsed the list of delegates that participated in the primaries that declared him as the nominated candidate of the People's Democratic Party. However, Justice Chukwu ruled that the order of the sister court was merely declarative and not mandatory. He also ruled that only one primary was held by the PDP National Working Committee in line with Section 89, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act, and it is the primary that produced Honorable Ukwanyi as a candidate for the People's Democratic Party in the state.
And we came to court and said no, the judge, Honorable Justice Ademola, did not make any order compelling PDP to use a particular list of delegates. And that was one, and that the PDP held only one primary election in Enugu State. And that election produced Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi. And that the one that the plaintiff embarked upon was an illegality. So the court upheld that and said yes, first of all, there was no compelling order made by Honorable Justice Ademola that PDP should use a particular list of delegates. And that secondly, that the PDP only conducted one primary election which produced Honorable Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi.
Reacting to the ruling, lawyer to Senator Eze says he will consult with his client to decide on whether to appeal the judgment.
We will relate with our clients and will take necessary steps to address the issue.
As at the time of filing this report, the litigant Senator Eze is yet to decide on whether to move to the appellate court or terminate the case here at the Federal High Court. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
Well, as the deadline for the distribution and collection of permanent voters' cards draws near, over 1 million eligible voters are yet to pick up theirs in Niger State. Well, that's according to the Public Relations Officer of the Commission, Mohammed Vaste. Also, more complaints about the collection process continue as the Bayelsa State government declared today a work-free day. Our correspondent Loretta Chogo reports.
The turnout is impressive, courtesy of the public holiday declared by the Bayelsa State government. But the holiday is yet to achieve its purpose. At some of the collection centers visited, complaints range from eligible voters not finding their names on the list to not being able to get their PVCs. When asked about the position of things, some INEC ad hoc officials declined commenting.
I registered on NOPA. We went to the INEC office, they transferred, they said we should come to this place. Now we are here, they said they cannot find our card. And this is the first time I'm moving for this thing now.
And away from Bayelsa State in the south-south to Niger State in the north-central of Nigeria, over 84% of the PVCs have been distributed. This is according to the Public Relations Officer of INEC.
The biggest challenge now is that the people don't want to come out. You remember, before the extension, there were last-minute rush from these people. And that is exactly what we are experiencing now from them, because they may not want to come out now and collect their permanent voters card until it is last 2 days. It becomes last 2 days to the end of the exercise, and then people will start rushing again to that place. I am appealing to my brother and sisters and Nigerians to come out and collect their permanent voter cards before the end of the exercise.
In Ogun State, where the percentage of PVC collection has been low, the state resident electoral commissioner reveals that there's an improvement with distribution standing at 63%. But he says 555 permanent voter cards belong to dead persons from the 20 local government areas of the state.
We have gone to all the local governments. From PU to PU, we have instructed our electoral officers to write out the names of those who have not collected their PVC. And during investigation, they now gave us the figure. I mean, those who are dead in Lebeda, in Abuja South, Abuja North. In other words, in all the 20 local governments, we got this figure from our electoral officers. And we have put their PVC aside. So that is how we are able to get that 555 dead.
Going by INEC's figures, the PVC distribution in 8 states, including Lagos, Oyo, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is over 60%. While in Anambra, Benue, Cross River, Delta, Ebon, Imo, Kwara, Ondo, Osun, Plateau, and Yobe states, the distribution has hit over 70%. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Now, job creation is getting more attention on the administration's agenda, with a resolve to create an additional 2 million jobs in the country. Well, that's according to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. The announcement comes as various ministers today presented the President's record of achievement at a meeting with the leadership of road transport workers, market women, and traditional rulers in Abuja. Our correspondent Gloria Umezoke reports.
It's a few weeks to the elections and Nigerians are waiting anxiously to vote. With the clock ticking, the political gladiators are using every opportunity to present their areas of strength. For the presidency, the ministers have been showcasing his achievements so far.
It's under this president that we're able to measure for the first time that each year Nigeria brings 1.8 million young people onto the job market. Once you know the number, then you have to work hard. Do you know how much we've done? We've managed to create on average 1.4 million jobs in the past 3 years of this administration on average. What does that mean? It means that we are almost there. We are almost close to closing that gap. I know that if your son or daughter is sitting at home, not yet employed, you will feel that you're not part of this 1.4, isn't it? But it will come.
Taking turns, the Minister of Works illustrated how the government has transformed many of the nation's road networks, which were death traps, into comfortable highways, among other projects listed by the Minister for Transport.
The Nigerian Port Authority has introduced an e-payment system, which has enhanced the efficiency. Hitherto, it was taking 5 days for you to make payment. The shipping company to make payment, to get clearance before confirmation, before you start clearing process. But today, with the introduction of this technology, you make your payment within 5 minutes. The payment is confirmed, and then you start your clearing processes.
As the owners of that road infrastructure, we have deemed it fit to expand the road from Abuja to Kefi, from the present 4 lanes into an 8-lane dual carriageway.
The sensitivity of the 2015 presidential elections have informed frequent interactive sessions between the two major contenders and various groups, organizations and workers. But ultimately, the honors would lie on the electorates to decide eventually where the pendulum would swing. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Residents of Ogun State have continued to pledge their support for the state governor, Ibikunle Amosun, who is seeking re-election in the coming polls. During his campaign tour to Ilaro Mechanic Village and Songota Market, the governor promised to continue to provide security and socio-economic development in his second term. Governor Amosun, accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Olufunsha Amosun, and his running mates, Mrs. Yetunde Ononuga, educated the electorate on the importance of the permanent voters' cards and ways to ensure that their votes are not voided.
In Niger, ever since the man came on board since 2011, a lot of transformation has taken place as far as Ogun State is concerned.
So will you vote him as a person?
Surely, because he has to be allowed to complete the work he has started.
If you talk of road, and the first overhead bridge being done by the state government is under Amosu, that will witness it in Ogun State. And going to Ijoko Road, you can see what is happening there. And I want to pray that by the grace of God, Amosu will be the next governor of Ogun State in the next 4 years. That is what we, the Ogun State citizens or residents, has resolved. By the grace of God, we are returning him to the government house.
I'm very glad, having him as our own governor here in Ogun State. His own tenure has been a commendable one, to be frank and sincere. I could see the old developments going on here and there. It's a welcome development anyway. I'm pleased with it. Thank you very much.
Will you vote him?
Why not? He's my own candidate right from time, and I'm still going to vote him in again for the second time.
When the news at 10 returns, federal government plans interest-free car loan for low-income earners. That's on Business News. Join us again.